very heart-wrenching. Our neighbors, right now it's just wanting to make sure that all of our neighbors are made it out, all the animals are safe. It's a very tragic situation.
At least 3 people are dead after a small plane crashed into a row of townhomes in Fairview. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Adams. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office is telling us there are actually 2 main crash areas after pieces of the plane apparently began to break off after it hit a power pole. We have team coverage for you tonight. Our Sydney Dorner and Celine Stevens are in Fairview right now near the crash site. Sydney spoke with neighbors about the crash. But first, Celine, what's the latest?
John, that's right. It's been almost 10 hours since that small plane crashed into townhomes here in Fairview. And as you can see behind me, the scene is still very active. Go ahead and take a look. We still have Multnomah County Sheriff's Office on scene, as well as Portland Fire and Rescue, and also crews working to repair those power lines after the plane hit it. Now, 2 people were on board the plane, and 1 person was also reported missing from the home. And now Gresham Fire tells me that 3 people have been confirmed dead.
That aircraft went down about 2 miles southwest of the field.
Attention all aircraft, just stand by.
Just before 10:30 Saturday morning, a small plane crashed into townhomes in Fairview, causing a 5-alarm fire to spread to multiple units and leaving debris scattered all over the area.
When we go to 5 alarms, we're talking almost 20 engines, ladder trucks, 5 or 6 chief officers, and a bunch of ancillary equipment.
The crash site, only a few miles away from Troutdale Airport.
Initial report says that there were 2 occupants on the airplane, and we're missing 1 residential occupant from the condo unit.
As for other injuries, Gresham Fire Department also said 2 people were treated by medics on scene. The Federal Aviation Administration also confirmed in a statement that 2 people were on board the plane and stated they and the National Transportation Safety Board are investigating the crash.
November 421 Golf Bravo, can you land runway 7?
Officials say it's unknown where the plane took off from or what caused the crash. That crash also caused around 9,000 customers to lose power.
At some point during the crash, it hit a power pole or tower, causing it to fall over. And so the power lines fell into a field of some sort and started a brush fire.
Service was restored around 3 in the afternoon, but residents in the surrounding area were evacuated, with the damage leaving some displaced.
As soon as Red Cross gets here, they will be helping with housing. So right now, we're making sure they're in shade, they're getting something to drink, they're getting the emotional support, and their family members have a clear way to get to them so they can hang on to each other. After this, then comes all the questions on what next.
Now, although 3 people have been confirmed dead, Gresham Fire could not confirm whether those were the 2 people on board the plane and 1 person that was being reported missing from the home. Now, the National Transportation Safety Board asked that if you have any information or were witness to the crash or any surveillance video, to contact them at witness@ntsb.gov. John, back to you.
All right, Celine, thank you. Continuing our team coverage tonight, Sydney Dorner spoke with neighbors who saw and felt this all unfold. Sydney, what did they tell you?
Well, John, when we first got here, we were right behind the row of homes that were hit by the small plane. Firefighters were still actively manning the fire, and neighbors were still in shock, saying they felt the impact and even saw the plane take down power lines. A loud boom.
Update on fire, we still have heavy fire coming through the roof and extending to the next unit.
Disturbing people in a small neighborhood in northeast Fairview.
It was a pretty big impact.
One neighbor that was a fairly close neighbor said the explosion shook him out of his chair.
John Sampson was working on his way to his next job, never expecting to witness the minutes after a plane crash.
The wings that were sideways and went into the condominiums.
Hitting power lines on the way down.
It was a pretty big power line, so they weren't sure if it was going down and hit the power lines or if the power lines caused the accident. But then it sheared one of the wings off.
Quickly starting a fire that spread through a row of homes.
When we got there, it was 1.5, and it was about 4 probably by the time they got it slowed down. But they had about every engine, I think, in Portland there.
When we arrived on scene, 2 people in the plane and 1 person in the home were still unaccounted for, worrying neighbors like Andrea Cox, who lives right behind where the crash erupted.
Very heart-wrenching. Our neighbors, right now it's just wanting to make sure that all of our neighbors are made it out, all the animals are safe. It's a very tragic situation.
Sampson says you could feel the pain and shock of the neighborhood as they took the scene in.
There's a lot of people crying. A lot of the neighbors were just beside themselves. They had their hands over their face, and it's pretty sad.
You got fire in the garage below you.
It kind of makes it all real when you see the damage.
Now, PGE will be assessing the damage as soon as they can safely access their equipment. John, back to you.
Sydney, thank you. What a terrifying and tragic scene. Well, turning now to our weather, where our late August heat wave continues with temperatures soaring into the mid and upper 90s for the second day in a row. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri joining us now. And Joe, is this heat going to stick around the entire Labor Day weekend?
No, in fact, we'll see our temperatures gradually cool down. But I think that was the gorge that we just showed a live shot of. Absolutely stunning scenes out there. Stunning scenes away from the coast. This is a live look over in Cannon Beach. It's kind of tough to make out some of the breaks from the ocean hitting the beaches right now. Temperatures over in Lincoln City, 60 degrees with overcast skies. We'll have more of that onshore flow heading into tomorrow as well. So there is a chance that we could be looking at some light spotty sprinkles, maybe a pop of a shower here and there along the beaches. But here inland, we're looking at a temperature right now of 89 degrees from our Wells Fargo camera. And as we look at the weather headlines, the heat spills over into tomorrow, but much cooler from what we have been seeing. But regardless, I'm still expecting to see a daytime high for September 1st right around the upper 80s to low 90s. If we hit 90, that'll be the fourth day in a row where we've seen temperatures 90 or above. And looking ahead into Labor Day, it's going to be much cooler as we start to see some increasing clouds, and a weak disturbance brushes by, bringing a slight chance for some showers right now. Right now, we're looking at temperatures in the mid 80s. Kind of a pretty warm Saturday night out there along the east side of the state, a little bit cooler, but temperatures over there in Baker City and Burns are in the low 70s. I'll talk more about your first couple days of September forecast. And I do have some cool conditions, but I also have a bit of a warm up as well. Details on that coming up.
All right, Joe, thank you. We'll see you later in the show. Earlier today, folks with the Blanchet House were handing out bottled water and some food ahead of today's heat wave. Executive Director Scott Kerman tells us they do everything they can to keep people they serve safe during these scorching temperatures, many of which he says are elderly and have chronic health conditions. They handed out sack lunches that included PB&J sandwiches, fruit, and other snacks. Today is also International Overdose Awareness Day. The Blanchet House co-hosted an event with tent misters, ice cream, and other cooling tools to bring awareness.
I would love for us as a community to really come together and find a way that we can solve for the dangers of these heat events for people, whether they're housed or unhoused, who are really susceptible to these conditions.
If you'd like to help the Blanchet House in their efforts, they're looking for more water bottles for the people they serve. As Kerman says, they haven't received as many donations ahead of this heat wave. You can stop by and drop them off yourself. And due to the air conditions and excessive heat, we're seeing Multnomah County has issued a mandatory wood burning restriction. The burn ban went into effect today at noon and will last until things cool down a bit, which the county expects to happen later this weekend. Under the ban, recreational fires, agricultural burning, and backyard burning are not allowed. The county also encourages residents to report anyone violating the ban at the number right there on your screen. This is the first warm season wood burning ban in Multnomah County in 2024. A local nonprofit is challenging the city's decision to allow entertainment giant Live Nation to run a new music venue on Portland's Central East Side. The nonprofit is Music Portland, which says it's raised enough money to appeal the city's decision to let Live Nation operate a 3,500-seat music hall near the Hawthorne Bridge. Music Portland describes Live Nation as a threat to the local music scene. The local developers involved in this project say Live Nation does understand Portland and has a lot of experience booking entertainment in the city. Music Portland says they'll testify at City Council next month. An Oregon program designed to help low-income pregnant women and families turns 50 this year. Oregon's WIC program, which stands for Women, Infant, and Children, was started in 1974. When it first began, WIC served 2,500 people. Today, that number is more than 114,000 across the state. WIC provides food benefits for pregnant women, infants, and children under the age of 5. KGW spoke with a former recipient who now counsels other moms. She called WIC a lifesaver.
There is so many great people here at WAKE. I feel like it's not just an organization. They become your family. When they decide to support you, they truly go above and beyond with their support for you.
To see if you qualify for WIC benefits, just head to the Oregon Health Authority's website for more details.